We're starting with my Ravens, man. So
Your
they locked
Ravens.
up the 1 seed with a dominant win over the Miami Dolphins. And
Yep.
Lamar is now a heavy favorite to win MVP. So you're saying at this point, if the Ravens don't win a Super Bowl, that Lamar is just the NFL's version of James Harden.
Okay, well, that's not quite what I've said. But go ahead and finish the question, and then I will explain exactly what I've said.
I was going to ask you if you were willing to bet on that, but the follow-up is, if he does end up making a deep playoff push and wins a Super Bowl, will he just become the NFL's version of Jokic?
Where the best player
I guess it's not
alive.
continuous MVPs, but,
No, but still, okay. I want to make this very clear. I am not saying that if the Ravens, any result other than winning the Super Bowl is going to mar Lamar Jackson's season. I am saying one very specific result will mar the season. And that's one and done in the playoffs and another bad playoff game by Lamar. That is the scenario that I think the Harden comps fair, like, we don't like the Harden-Lamar comp because one guy is wildly respected, the other guy is considered a quitter and a clown. One guy has near universal approval rating, the other guy has essentially no fans left. One guy seems to, in James's case, have the big moments freak him out, and Lamar just hasn't played well. So I am not comparing them as athletes or people. What I am saying is, if Lamar gets a second MVP, and then for the second time in a year he wins MVP, his team is the 1 seed, and in that playoff game, they lose their first playoff game, and he plays poorly, the Lamar Jackson regular season phenom playoff flaker, which is what James Harden is, those comps will be there. So I don't think, let's look at every other Ravens scenario. They win their first playoff game, Lamar plays well, and then in the AFC title game, they lose to the Chiefs and Mahomes. No one's killing Lamar. Or if they make the Super Bowl and lose, no one's killing Lamar. You winced, Demonze. They might feel like a bit of a missed opportunity, but though the Chiefs look vulnerable,
losing in the Super Bowl is fine. But I think to the Chiefs, I'm not trying to down talk, but I do think that would be a disappointment given how the season has gone if the Ravens were to go out there and lose to the Chiefs.
But you have to recognize in that world, the Chiefs aren't the team that people are looking at them as right now. They will have been a team that just won 3 straight playoff games and made another Super Bowl. They're 4th in 5 years. In that scenario, no one's looking at the Chiefs like, this crummy Chiefs team. They're like, oh my God. If the Ravens lose to the Chiefs in the AFC title game, it's not going to be about, oh my God, gag job. It's going to be about the bleeping Chiefs, man. Even this year, you couldn't kill them. You follow me there? And I know people are like, and so if the Ravens make the Super Bowl and they lose, nobody killed Joe Burrow for that. They anointed, rightfully so, Joe Burrow for that exact scenario, making the Super Bowl and losing. But if Lamar plays poorly and the Ravens are in a weird spot, let me ask you this, Demonze. Would you play Lamar in Week 18 against Pittsburgh? They have the number 1 seed locked up.
Yeah, I was thinking about this. There's no cons to losing, right? Like if we lose, everything's secured, everything's locked up. Yeah, no,
you're the 1 seed no matter what.
No, I don't think there's any. I don't think a couple of guys should play, to be honest. But yeah, definitely not Lamar.
So, I think that's correct, and I think that's what they'll do. Here is the potential con. You are rolling. You just came off probably your 2 best, most dominant games, not just of the season, maybe of Lamar's career. The Niners win in San Francisco, and then the evisceration, more touchdown passes than incompletions. By the way, that's the 3rd time in Lamar's career. he has had a perfect passer rating and more touchdown passes than incomplete passes. Really unbelievable. When he's rolling, his A+, he is the only guy who's on eye level with Mahomes of you get their 100 out of 100 game. Lamar's the only quarterback, I think, in the league that if Mahomes plays his apex game, might not beat him.
Yeah.
Like, people tried to say that was Josh Allen, but we saw Josh Allen play his apex game against Mahomes. In that playoff game, Mahomes won. Lamar's apex game is just so, when he's hitting from a passing perspective and still has, exactly. So sorry, I interrupted myself. Oh, I was saying about how they're rolling. So he has the Niners game, then this perfect game against Miami. You now are in a situation where that game against Miami was December 31st, and his next game he plays in would be January 20th or 21st.
So you're saying to keep like the legs fresh and just like repetition, kind of?
No, I'm saying I would sit him. I'm agreeing with you, but I am saying it is not without some nervousness of it's not just 1 week off because you have the actual bye. It's 2 weeks off. Like if you had locked up the 2 seed and you have to play wild card weekend, it's a no-brainer to rest guys. The Chiefs have locked up the 3 seed, and I want them to sit everyone that matters. Throw that game away. They can't be anything but the 3. Give yourself a week off. The 2 weeks off thing gets a little tricky. And by the way, the Niners are in this same spot where they have the bye locked up. Are they going to play their guys in in week 18? So now to the flip side of this conversation, if the Ravens go on and win the Super Bowl, does Lamar get to be called the best player in the league? It would be fair. Now, I think some others will still say, if Patrick Mahomes is in his prime, he is perpetually the best player in the league. But similar to when LeBron was in his prime, but Steph won an MVP and a championship, some people the next year said he's the best player. And even if you disagree with it, it's not an outrageous take. Hey, thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button to get more from the show, and make sure to click the bell to get notified every time new content drops. Check out full episodes of What's Right wherever you get your podcasts, or just click the link in the description below.